Cool. So I restarted my stream. We gonna just get straight to it. So if you are having trouble hearing me through my microphone, Bluetooth speaker. If you happen to have small phone speakers that you're choosing to listen to, I should pick up good on there, but if your speakers happen to be at least a year old, you're probably going to need a Bluetooth speaker. When I'm not facing towards the mic, it doesn't pick up my voice the same, but either way, it should still pick me up. So, as you could tell by the title, we're going to talk about some Hollywood related stuff. But in the meantime, I figured I'd play one of my shorts. A lot of people know that last week is when the movie Sinners came out. Sinners is a hot topic right now as far as movies. That's a movie I've been looking forward to seeing. I put the trailer in my Discord. If anyone is part of the Twitch Discord, it's on my Twitch. You might have probably seen it, the trailer for it, previously when I put it up. Since then, the movie has released. I haven't seen it yet. But I do want to say before I get into this conversation that Ryan Coogler is one of my favorite directors. He's been on a roll. He's been knocking out every movie brilliantly. This one is basically the first project that's its own story. It's not an autobiography. It's not a series continuation. This is an original story. And it's a horror movie, so it's going to be great to add to the list for whenever Halloween rolls around. But in the meantime, though, I'm glad that this movie came out at this time of the year. It's only April. It's April right now, and springtime is really when I think people go out and see movies. It couldn't have been at a better time. I mean, summer could have been great too, but honestly, I prefer that it come out in spring rather than the summer. Even if I don't end up going to the theaters to see it, it's a movie I'm for sure buying. That's the one thing that I do like about having Amazon is although they have exclusive shows, that's actually the marketplace for digital movies that come out. So pretty much any movie that comes out, as long as it's not something that's exclusive to Hulu, Netflix, HBO Max, I should be able to get it eventually. That's how I got Deadpool 3 whenever it dropped. So one thing I do want to point out is that since we're on the conversation of Sinners, a lot of people happen to be throwing hatred, I guess you could say, giving coincidental downplay. And it's something that I knew was going to happen, but this video that I'm about to show a piece of kind of confirms it. So as you can tell, shout outs to Dr. Rashad Ritchie. This is a clip from Indisputable. It's on his page. It's one of the top videos because I think this dropped yesterday. It's already gathered 104,000 views. But yeah, let's see.
Variety and NYT slammed over unfair headlines about Sinners, the movie, the film. Okay, here it is.
Yeah, so even before he continues the clip, Variety and NYT. NYT is New York Times. New York Times is a major countrywide news publication. See, back in the day, we used to have these people called Siskel and Ebert. They used to give movie reviews. They would give it a 1 through 5 star rating. And it used to be on the DVD box. It would be in the New York and LA Times. It would be online. Like, they were movie critics, like legendary movie critics. I think one of them is still around. But the thing is, there isn't that anymore. Now it's Rotten Tomatoes, and every website has their own reviews, and they're too separated from, like, all of them are basically specific audiences that are reviewing that magazine or whatever, sending in their review to the magazine. But Siskel and Ebert, they were movie critics. I think they watched like every single movie, like every single movie that would come out, basically. And I would feel bad for them if they were still doing that today, because a lot of movies that come out are absolute fucking garbage, and we're about to talk about that in a sec. So he's laying down a really good point. This, even before he starts saying what he's gonna say, it's something I predicted and I knew was gonna happen for this movie. Why? We all know why.
Incredibly easy to point out a pattern that we often see, a very quiet double standard. The New York Times reported that Sinners opened to a $46 million opening weekend in the United States.
So let me point out too, we are in one of the worst economies, one of the worst economies as of right now. So this movie reached that projection that he just said in its first weekend. Its first weekend in the worst economy ever. An economy that we just haven't seen yet. Like, of course, it's not at the worst it can be, but it seems like it's going there.
The movie was made for around $90 to $100 million. The headline that the New York Times ran with, however, was Sinners is a box office success.
As we always see, anybody who's not just black, but just a person of color in general, if you've ever tried to achieve a dream, if you've ever tried to follow a goal, if you've ever tried to work yourself up to get to that position that you know you could do it, that because that's what you keep telling yourself. We've all seen this before. Damn, this is so good, but
Yes. And then in brackets it put with a big asterisk. But very quickly it frames the
in brackets they put with a big asterisk. Can you, man, the $1 million projections of these movies, especially in today's economy, this is crazy. This shit is still, can you imagine that you did all this work, and we're going to get into all that work in a second, but can you imagine if you did all this fucking work, all just to, when you tell your family, like, hey, guess what? I'm finally in this magazine. I made it. Check out, even before this movie comes out, like, check out this review that they're about to give me. I'm sure that all my hard work is about to pay off. I mean, the movie, it just sold this and much this weekend. So there's no way that this freaking platform or publication is going to have something negative to say. There's no chance of it. I just won. I just scored this much money off of my original project in a weekend in the worst economy, one of the worst economies in the last 100 years. I'm sure of it. And now with the news publications, I'm expecting that they're going to say something good. I mean, not just that, but this is a record-breaking movie where it was the first time a woman director had held a camera, IMAX camera, to film scenes for a movie. Look that up.
The success as provisional, as something that still needs to be proven, right? Like, it needs to continue to be profitable. It needs to justify itself. But here's where it gets interesting, because back in 2019, before the pandemic, before the death of cinema that we've heard over the last
before the death of cinema, RIP cinema.
6 years over and over again, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood opened to $40 million over its weekend. Now, same ballpark budget, around $90 to $100 million, but it made $6 million less. And the New York Times headline, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a box office hit for Tarantino.
Damn, hold on, let's...
Less. And the New York Times headline, Once Upon a Time...
Ain't that a bitch? So one thing that's not mentioned is, like I said, this is a worse economy. Even though this was during the pandemic, this is a different economy, and it's about to be a lot worse. So that's one thing that I think plays a huge factor into this whole evaluation that white people feel they got to give every time a black man does something, especially film related. I mean, it's not like this is running on like a small budget to make some fucking bubblegum for your community. Nah, these are millions and millions of dollars. This is an original production. This is what we've been doing. This is what the Wayans have been doing. This is, I mean, like, Get Out and Us weren't a fluke. Them shits were legit. Friday as well.
In Hollywood is a box office hit for Tarantino. No asterisk, no caveats, no quiet suggestion that maybe, just maybe, it hasn't really earned the hit label yet.
Shout outs to Dr. Rashad Ritchie. So, I mean, that clip, it gets the point across. So, this is what the New York Times had to say. Sinners is a box office. Oh, yeah, by the way, the other publication, mainly Variety, they kind of backtracked and did some damage control, but we're going to look for that shit too, if I remember. So, Sinners is a box office success with a big asterisk. Ryan Coogler's original horror film was expected to sell a strong 46 million in tickets on the weekend. Enough for number one, but its profitability remains a long way off. Michael B. Jordan as Smoke, one of two characters he plays in Sinners. Wait, let me read that again. Michael B. Jordan as Smoke, one of two characters he plays in Sinners. He's still maintained the same shape that he was in for Creed 1, 2, and 3, which cost at least $150 million to make the market worldwide. Sinners sold an estimated, so this is 1/3 of that way. Sinners sold an estimated 46 million in tickets in North America from Thursday afternoon through Sunday. Box office analysts said a terrific result for an original R-rated, slow-burning horror drama set in the 1930s and rooted in black culture. Reviews were rapturous. But the film directed, written, and produced by Ryan Coogler was expensive, analysts noted, costing Warner Brothers at least $150 million to make and market worldwide. The studio also agreed to demands by Mr. Coogler's representative for unusually generous compensation. As a result, for Warner Brothers to make money, Sinners will need to attract substantial crowds in the weeks ahead. It's an excellent opening for a period horror film, except that it's hard to call it completely successful because of its enormous budget. David A. Gross, a film consultant, said in an email. So here's the thing. I don't really feel I need to look up this name, but I'm sure we can all fucking guess what this person probably looks like. But fuck it, let's do it. No, that can't be. That's a lawyer. Of course. But where do we see a picture? I don't want a newsletter. So who is David Gross? Oh, damn. So I'm not 100% sure if this is David Gross, but why is it shade? As a result, for Warner Brothers to make money, why is it about the money? The movie has sold 46 million so far in a weekend. And on top of that, this movie is not given the same advertisement and fucking marketing that movies previously have had before the pandemic and during the pandemic. This is less marketing. This shit sold 46 million in a weekend. That's a dub. That's a win. But of course, it has to turn into, oh, this movie didn't sell enough. At least 150 million to make a market worldwide. Nigga, this is the first weekend. Like, the projections of Black Panther 2, have showed that it's possible. It's most likely going to happen. Just because it didn't happen in the first weekend doesn't take from it. There's people who, let's say this first weekend, every single person liked the movie. It's so good, they want to see it again. That is so much money just right there. That's a possibility. It might not be 100%, but that possibility alone, because that would be all those people viewing it on top of the people who are already going to see it the next weekend because they don't have to work. They had to work last weekend. And like, this is a whole article basically just clickbait. Like, this is literally, in my mind, clickbait. Like, this is several paragraphs that are all basically just going to be that. Just, oh, this didn't do well enough. In a statement, Pam Abdi and Mike DeLucia, co-chairs of Warner Bros. Motion Picture Group, said they were thrilled by the stellar turnout. Warner Brothers Pictures remains committed to bringing singular in-theater experiences to audiences looking for bold movies, both original and those based on beloved existing properties, they said. What the fuck is up with this fetish for beloved existing properties? Like, not all existing properties are beloved. Like, and I don't know if they meant remakes by this, but that's how I'm taking it. I'm pretty much just talking about remakes at this point, but like the existing properties and trying to make sequels and remakes need to be more thought out, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I have seen some remakes that were good. Snow White and the Huntsman, for example, I thought that shit was awesome, even though the main fucking character smashed the damn director while this dude is married. But that was a good remake. There have been some good sequels. I just can't think of any off the top of my head right now because a lot of them fucking suck. A Warner Brothers spokesman added that Sinners is on track to be both profitable and among this year's most critically acclaimed movies. I don't even care about that. Like, why are we talking about if it's profitable or not? Like, it's the first weekend. Like, what the fuck? This movie is gonna make the money back. Like, y'all acting like some fucking cheap ass drug dealer or something. Oh man, I fronted you this, but I need that shit by 2 a.m. tonight because I got some shit to do with the, like, bruh, like, this movie's gonna make its fucking money back. It's gonna make even more, and when it makes more, y'all better still write another fucking article about that. Oh, guess what? Such and such movie that we were just talking about not selling enough sold triple what it was projected this weekend alone. This third weekend or fourth weekend. If that ends up being the case, y'all better write a fucking article about that. The movie, which features a striking soundtrack of blues, soul, gospel, bluegrass, and Irish folk music, did particularly well at IMAX theaters. IMAX theaters, that relates to what I was saying earlier. This movie has the first woman that's direct or recorded a portion of this movie with an IMAX camera. Like, they had a specific IMAX camera. I think it was the same one that was used in Dark Knight, or a similar one, because I posted in my Discord a video of him talking about how he contacted Chris Nolan, one of my other favorite directors, to basically talk about cameras. So they be having conversations about cameras and shit, and that's the reason why him and Michael B. Jordan keep knocking these motherfuckers out the park. All these movies have been knocked out the park. All classics. The movie, which features a striking soundtrack of blues, did particularly well at IMAX theaters, where tickets sell at a premium price. IMAX delivered about 20% of total weekend sales from only 399 locations. Sinners played in a total of 3,308 theaters, and I'm sure that amount itself is probably going to go up too. When all these broke-ass movie theaters see that they can sell tickets rather than selling these stupid fucking popcorn buckets, they're gonna hop on the bandwagon and add this to their fucking selection. Like, Motherfuckers are gonna be showing this shit at their house in a minute, selling selling some little fucking tickets they got from Smart and Final. Overseas, Sinners collected a muted 15.4 million from more than 70 countries. Horror movies and stories rooted in black culture can be difficult sells in some markets, analysts said. Anything that has black culture can be a hard sell when it's sold by us, when we're the original creators of the story or the music or the fucking literature. After a difficult winter at box office, Miss Abdi and Mr. DeLucia have been on a victory lap of late. If I were to click on this victory lap link, I'm wondering what it would show. Have been on a victory lap of late. A Minecraft movie, which they put into production in consultation with David Zaslav, the chief executive of Warner Brothers Discovery, was the second biggest draw at theaters over the weekend. Ticket sales for a Minecraft movie made the legendary entertainment totaled about 41 million from Friday through Sunday, for a cumulative 345 million in North America and 721 million worldwide since arriving on April 4th. Of course, it's fucking Minecraft. Haven't you forgot that most of the country hates black people? Most of the world hates black people? Of course Minecraft sold more. Of course. Why wouldn't it? It's a fucking video game that only costs about $15, and everybody in the world can create what they want, basically. And this is something that probably has been out for the last 10 years. So every child in America is going to go see the fucking Minecraft movie. Sinners, which stars Michael B. Jordan as diabolical twins named Smoke and Stack, received an A grade in the cinema score exit polls, boding well for word of mouth. In 35 years of cinema score polling, no other horror film has received that high of a grade. The audience was roughly 50% black, according to exit polling services, suggesting that there was room for the film to broaden its reach among other demographics. Damn, I'm wearing these contact lenses and these shits are fucking up my eyes. The turnout for Sinners reflected in part the bond that Mr. Coogler 38 was forged with movie fans since arriving in Hollywood in 2013. Mr. Coogler, whose credits include the Black Panther and Creed franchises, can fill seats with his mere presence on a marquee, an extremely rare power, especially for someone who doesn't appear on screen. Warner Bros. Was so eager to be in business with him that it agreed to spend $90 million to make Sinners, an eye-popping amount for an original film set in the Great Depression and carrying an R rating. Even it does have dancing vampires. For comparison, Jordan Peele made the R-rated Get Out, an original horror movie set in modern times, for about $4.5 million in 2017. Mr. Peele's similar Us cost $20 million in 2019. And they're putting that in the same conversation because those are the two most recent classics from the genre. Like, do you guys remember before that, there used to be this shit called Paranormal Activity? They made like 17 of them, but people started to realize that none of that shit even fucking mattered. Y'all remember that? To seal the deal with Mr. Coogler, other studios were also bidding on the project. Warner Brothers agreed to give him a cut of gross ticket sales before the studio deducts costs. This arrangement, known in Hollywood as first dollar gross, was once relatively common for top stars and directors, but has all but ended since the DVD boom went bust. Warner Bros. Also agreed to relinquish its ownership of the film after 25 years. Mr. Coogler will then own it. Despite not paying for it, this type of concession is even rarer for studios to make. Some rival film companies were horrified that Warner Brothers would give a film away even after a period of time. When they made the deal with Mr. Coogler, Miss Abdi and Mr. DeLucia were under pressure from Mr. Zaslav to attract top filmmakers to the studio. Warner Brothers had seen an exodus of talent after a decision by AT&T, which owned the studio from 2018 to 2022, to give priority to streaming over theaters. Wait, what? When they made the deal with Mr. Coogler, Mrs. Abdi and Mr. DeLuca were under pressure from Mr. Zaslav to attract top filmmakers to the studio. Warner Brothers had seen an exodus of talent after a decision by AT&T, which owned the studio from 2018 to 2022, to give priority to streaming over theaters. What the fuck? Mr. DeLuca and Mrs. Abdi rose in their careers through the traditional film business, where losses are sometimes tolerated. Wild gambles on I can't even pronounce that, are taken in hopes of securing relationships that pay returns in the long run. In other words, Sinners could end up as a loss leader, an unprofitable project nonetheless viewed inside the company as a success because it delivered other forms of value, most notably enhancing Warner's reputation in Hollywood's artistic community. That shit, like, all this speculation shit is all just fluff to fucking project hate and downplay, basically. I mean, just look at the picture. It's all right there. I can't make it bigger for you guys since this is vertical format, but as you can tell, there's no shade in that photo at all. So this is what we call pocket watching. Long story short, for anyone who's not understanding none of this shit that I'm reading, this is all basically someone who's not of shade pocket watching Ryan Coogler, because Ryan Coogler did a great job, but it's not good enough. Long story short, it's not good enough. It's never, ever, ever good enough. Given the exceptional reviews, Warner Brothers will almost certainly give Sinners an Oscar campaign, which can itself be pricey. Of course, it's about the fucking money always. Pocket watching. Like I said, this is pocket watching, ladies and gentlemen. The opening for Sinners was the largest for an entirely original movie, not based on pre-existing material. Let's get that part correct. Not based on pre-existing material, aka intellectual property, since Jordan Peele's Nope. Like, this is the only fucking, this is all they can connect it to. Like, they can only connect it to Jordan Peele movies. I know that Jordan Peele's movies have been a success in the genre, and I'm happy as hell that Ryan Coogler is making a film in that genre as well, because I have a clip in my Discord of both of them interviewing each other, and it's dope as fuck. I still haven't finished it, but it's dope as fuck. But it just goes to show that both of them dipped their feet into that genre and succeeded. So back to Paranormal Activity. Man, can you believe they needed to make 7 of them shits? And don't no one remember a single fucking scene from none of them after Get Out came out? Remember that? Because I've had like 3 women take me to see some Paranormal Activity movies as if they were something. And then Jordan Peele brought back Candyman. Another good one. Box office revenue is typically split 50-50 between studios and theaters. Fluff. This whole shit is fucking fluff. New York Times. So this is the thing. This is the reason why I wanted to do this whole thing. Like, I was just in someone's live yesterday while they were talking about black ownership. Black ownership is something I talk about all the time. But the thing is, like, in order for people to have black ownership, you have to wrestle white control, which is nearly impossible, especially with several decades ahead of having budgets, and not just budgets, but the whole system is rigged to fit your passive income, to fit your food stamps, to fit your benefits, to fit your fucking tuition. All that shit is already preset for people who aren't of color before they're born. All that shit I just listed, it's all just in a package, just waiting for him most of the time. Not every single time, because there are some poor Caucasian folks. But let me tell you, every system, specifically Hollywood, is controlled by people who aren't of color. I'm not going to signify just a specific group, but I'm going to say people who aren't of color are at the bottom of shit trying to fight their way just for a little piece of it. And this is the reason why Tyler Perry is buying a movie studio. This is the reason why 50 Cent is buying a fucking movie studio. I'm sure there's many others who have bought studios or are buying studios. I just don't want to throw out random names who I haven't fact checked yet. But this is why we have to buy our own like we always have to buy our own shit and make our own shit. Like when it comes to clothing as well, that's the reason why I did clothing. I'm sick of going to stores and buying clothing, and then these motherfuckers are no longer selling that specific item that they were the only ones who made. For example, I used to get pants where I could unzip the shits and turn them into shorts, but they don't make those anymore. That's not the fashion anymore. So I have to make my own ones. Basically, I have to buy a fucking factory. I have to sew the materials myself and attach the zipper myself in order to wear those jeans again. No one's going to watch this video and think of how great of an idea that shit was and start remaking it again, especially with these tariffs and this economy. No, I have to do it. I have to sink my whole entire future into debt just to make some fucking pant shorts. Damn, that's funny. Ben Stiller and Patrick Schwarzenegger slammed for sensitive reactions to box office numbers amid industry panic. How the fuck are they? What? How are they getting slammed? So, in that first video I showed, the Dr. Rashad Ritchie, later in that video, he does mention that Ben Stiller and Patrick Schwarzenegger happened to hop on X and defend Ryan Coogler's film from these fucking news publications that are trying to do what I just read, basically. And shout outs to both of them for that. But it's crazy to see that they're getting slammed now because they defended a movie that did well in its first week in the worst economy. Ben Stiller and Patrick Schwarzenegger are under fire for their sensitive reactions to a critical headline that cast doubt on the opening weekend success of Sinners. On Sunday, Variety, the publication known as the Trade Bible in Hollywood, tweeted that profitability remains a ways away. For the new horror film starring Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld, despite it amassing $61 million in its global debut, this sparked an outcry among a number of Hollywood stars who took to X to defend the movie, written, co-produced, and directed by Ryan Coogler. Written, co-produced, and directed by Ryan Coogler. Co-produced. So the other producer, I believe, was the woman I was mentioning who held the camera and filmed some of the scenes. And shout outs to her. Against the criticism, in what universe does a $60 million opening for an original studio movie warrant this headline? Stiller typed on X. Shout outs to Ben Stiller, defending black people. Schwarzenegger opted to use his platform to remind the world and those in the industry that Sinners was just released on Friday, April 18th. So this is not Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is Patrick Schwarzenegger saying this. Arnold Schwarzenegger's son. American film producer Franklin Leonard even posted out the starkly different coverage of Quentin Tarantino's 2019 hit Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Sinners, a tale of two movies, similar deal structure, similar budgets. One made $45 million from 3,300 screens post-pandemic and won the weekend. The other made $41 million from 3,600 screens pre-pandemic and placed second. And yet this is the coverage, he tweeted. Leonard went on to provide two headlines from the New York Times, one that described Sinners as a box office success with an asterisk. Yeah, that's the dude who was in that clip. Meanwhile, filmmaker Joe Russo, I think that's one of the Russo brothers, tweeted, Variety, why didn't the movie make all its budget back in 3 days? So shout outs to Joe Russo. I think that's one of the Russo brothers. The Russo brothers, they're the ones who, I might be wrong, but I think he's one of the Russo brothers. But the Russo brothers are the ones who did the Captain America movies, most of them, and I think they did those last two Avengers movies. I mean, I think all the directors collaborated on that, but they were the people who like helmed it together, or helmed the story together, and I think they're the ones doing the current Avengers that's about to come out in the next couple years. Seems like a valid wait. Under Stiller's tweet, many ex-users pointed out that all Variety was trying to say was a film might barely break even due to its $90 million price tag before global marketing expense. So that right there, that's basically saying that under Stiller's tweet, many people were defending the pocket watching. They were defending the pocket watching of Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan's latest work. Pocket watching. They were pocket watching. Seems like a valid headline. This is a business, not UNICEF, another replied. And this is the reason why I'm not on X. One thing I've noticed that's very common through Instagram, through X, through YouTube comments, it's filled with idiots. Not every single person is an idiot. But man, oh man, I remember replying to something on IGN's Instagram. IGN is International Gaming News, one of the big game platforms. I just responded to something they posted, and goddamn, at least 500 people had something negative to say. I was just asking a question, and like 600 people had comments to say under those people's comments in agreement. And I had like 50 people watch my story that day because they hated me so bad that they wanted to see what color I was. So I responded back with, "Oh, okay." It was a question about something math related, and I didn't have a pen and paper in front of me. I was at work. I was literally picking up bags of soil to bring to someone's car. I could have easily figured it out with a pen and paper within less than 5 seconds. But I didn't have none of that. I had a walkie-talkie in my hand taking an order for a bag of soil directly after I typed in this question. So I was thinking maybe someone in the comments will be smart enough to just answer this shit for me. But all people could do was talk shit. No one could even fucking answer it. I figured it out myself a second later and posted a reply to myself telling people and showing people how to get the fucking answer. Since y'all want to talk shit, people on the internet, a lot of them are fucking idiots. Idiots, I tell you. Idiots. Right now is the perfect time to scam idiots. Just hop on Instagram. Hop on Instagram. Say something. It doesn't matter what it is. Say happy birthday. People are going to talk shit. Trust me. Trust me, they're going to talk shit. Add him as friends. Scam them about 6 months later down the line. Some of them might be bots, but the ones that aren't, dumb as fuck. A second ex-user responded, "I hope it does well too, but this is quite literally the most common headline imaginable for any high-budget film that opens to 1/3 of what it needs to just break even." They're not wrong about that. That is true. It is quite literally the most common headline imaginable, but there are movies that do come out that don't get a fucking headline like that or a fucking fluff article written about the shit like that. There's still some that slip through the cracks, and guess what colors their directors are? Guess. I mean, it's not... I mean, why couldn't Ryan Coogler release a film, have it just sit at the box office, gather its money without anyone saying anything about that? Why couldn't they talk about how much they liked the film? Like, this whole, we don't want to spoil it, so because of that, we don't have the mental capacity to write anything joyous at all. Like, we have to talk about the money. Like, we can't even let you get a fucking moment, Ryan Coogler. Like, we're so fucking boring, bruh. That's really what it boils down to. These motherfuckers is fucking... Everyone who's been in charge these last 20 years is boring as fuck. And that's the reason why Jordan Peele slid in. Jordan Peele is a fucking comedian, bruh. Jordan Peele is a fucking comedian. He's made me, haha, I'm almost dying, laugh on Mad TV thousands of times. When bruh played... Whenever he dressed up as Obama, that shit was... And that didn't start on their show. I think that started on Mad TV. But bruh is like next level. And that's the thing. What I'm trying to say is like, this whole format of doing the same shit over and over and over and over, that shit has not been working for these last 20 years. It's been slowly killing Hollywood. Like, the shit is dead. Ain't no one going to a fucking movie. I'm probably going to see this in theaters, and I'm not seeing another movie till John Wick 5. That's it. Like, all the shit that's shown, all these trailers. I just saw the new Predator trailer yesterday. I'm not excited about that shit whatsoever. Prey was fire as fuck. Prey lived up to all expectations, but this new shit, I'm good. Like, it literally looks like the Predator got weave installed. The Predator doesn't have a mask on. Like, what the fuck? Like, we know what a Predator's face looked like. It looks like Diddy. Yeah, they basically got the pictures of the X posts and all that. So yeah, Ben Stiller basically responded to Variety. Sinners has amassed 61 million in its global debut. It's a great result for an original R-rated horror film. Yet, this is where the but it's not good enough starts. Yet, the Warner Brothers release has a 90 million price tag before global marketing expenses, so profitability remains a ways away. So yeah, this is basically people responding to them saying that shit. The whole, it's not good enough. And then they switch it up after people said what they said. 5 reasons why Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan's Sinners ruled the box office. No one's talking about how he's playing 2 characters. Not like it hasn't been done before. Michael Myers has done that several times. But this shit is different. This is different, though. And I haven't seen the movie yet. But everyone's talking about it. Like, I knew it was going to be fire. In IMAX, shot with IMAX film cameras. When was the last time an IMAX film camera movie dropped? Like, look at this shit. Like, you can visually see that these are 2 different people. Even though they're played by the same actor, these are 2 different people. I'm going to school y'all on acting real quick. In some cases, you have to dig into personal experiences to portray somebody. And it's all up to the director and producer to be able to communicate very, very direct and visually what you're supposed to picture and how this character's everything is. Like, you have to literally become this person. As you can visually tell that he had to become this person and become this person to play these 2 brothers. Like, this is top tier acting. I haven't even seen the movie yet, but I already know. So let's look at Ryan Coogler's filmography. So for me, it started with Fruitvale Station. Fruitvale Station is, I believe, a biopic because it's based on the last 3 days of someone's life, basically. And that's it's based on a true story. That's what I meant to say. Biopic based on a true story. It takes place in either Oakland or a surrounding city. It's somewhere in the Bay. So I don't think it's San Francisco. I think it's Oakland. But it's about someone who years back had more than a decade ago, had an incident happen to him that cost him his life. And I'm just going to leave it at that, because people who aren't people of color, if you do happen to see it, I want you to be surprised if you don't already know the story. But it's the same story that always fucking happens. It happened for several years after this movie came out. That's what I'm going to say about that. This movie right here don't really count because it's not a movie. It's a TV movie. It's like a... Let's see how long this movie was. Because, 56 minutes. So this is like a little special. But we're going to back out of that one. Creed. Creed is a very motivating movie. So this movie is a continuation of... Wait, am I tripping? Is it not showing all his movies? Yeah, so Creed is a continuation of the Rocky, spin-off of the Rocky series, featuring Michael B. Jordan again. Fruitvale Station featured Michael B. Jordan. But Creed is an awesome story. It has that similar drive and push to Rocky, but this is a different story. And this story, it starts off in the hood. It starts off in the hood of LA. Well, actually, the movie technically starts off in Tijuana, but his story, I think it starts off in Oakland, and then he relocates to LA, I think. But classic movie. It's just like the Rocky films in the sense that it shows the effort and the hard work you have to put in. Of course, since Creed is boxing, he has to train, technique, footwork, jab, hook, and not just that. Like it's a dope story. It's more. It's like, I guess you could say more realistic with current times today. Because his journey is he has money behind him, but he chooses to put himself in a position where he has to take the hard way. Like, it's I don't know how to describe it, but basically that it just shows his character, like how his character is built. And I know Ryan Coogler expressed that to Michael B. Jordan, like, yo, like, this is how we're gonna do it. Your character is going to basically get it out the fucking mud. That's the best way I could describe that movie. Get it out the mud. And it's not shown here, but Creed 2 and 3 were fantastic. The reason why it's not shown here is because I think Ryan Coogler was a writer for Creed 2 and not a director. And for Creed 3, that one was directed by Michael B. Jordan. But I think he helped. I think Ryan Coogler helped write that. Black Panther. We all know Black Panther, classic. It's not the best movie ever, but it was better than what people expected. This was Ryan Coogler's first major superhero movie. This one was, what was I gonna say? Yeah, this movie, it drew a big audience. And then it also kind of built one of the stages for the next Avengers movie. Like his version of Wakanda was visually, like, when you look at the comics, they show Wakanda, but it's not like what he made. Like what he made was like it's crazy. Like when you watch that movie, especially being his first superhero movie, and this is a big budget he's working with too. This whole shit is just crazy. Yeah, I remember for a long period of time they were juggling directors, trying to figure out who was gonna direct it. Kind of like what they were just recently doing the Blade movie. But when they finally penned him, I was like, oh shit. I was like, I don't know if he's ready. I don't know if he could do that because of Fruitvale Station and Creed. Like he knocked both those out the park, but this is different. But we all know he knocked that out the park too. In fact, he did a spectacular job on that. And the next movie was even harder to do. So this being a small screen for you guys, since this is vertical format, Black Panther is what I was just talking about. And then the next movie was Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, RIP, this right here was going to be a way harder story to write. A way harder movie. This movie, before they started showing, before the first trailer came out, I wasn't really too excited. I didn't think I was going to be interested. There's no Chadwick Boseman. It's like, maybe it's not about Black Panther. Maybe they're trying to do something else. I don't know. That's what my whole mindset was. I don't know what they're about to do. But when they showed the first trailer, I was like, what the fuck? And then when I saw it, I was like, damn, he really did this. And the thing is, this movie is really, really symbolic. It's different from the first one in the sense that there is a lot of symbolism to carry it. And shout outs to Shuri. The actress who plays Shuri, I forgot her name. I can't remember it right now, but shout outs to her. And as you saw in that screen right there was Ironheart. Ironheart is a character that does have her own comic series that came out years back. I touched up on it in my comic corner. But she's basically a student of Iron Man. And she's basically a genius. She's a genius at an early age, but she's a student of Iron Man. He basically picks her up to he basically, she has her own suit that she built, and he basically picks her up and takes her into, I think he puts her in the Avengers for a little bit. But this is a cast of all types of people, all types of walks of life. It's mostly black people in this movie, but Everett Ross is in that movie. I love his character. He's a good actor. He's from that movie with the dudes who did Shaun of the Dead. Fuck, I forgot their names. But he's in a movie with them. It's like the end of the world or something like that. They have like this list of bars that they've got to go to, and then like all types of crazy shit starts happening. That's a classic movie, and he's in it. But Ryan Coogler knocked this movie out of the park. To me, this was the hardest movie to succeed at. Straight up. Like, I can't believe that he made this work. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. But it's like, damn, like, bruh. When Okoye is on the bridge defending, that's when I was like, yo, this works. And they got the two helmets there. Yeah, like I don't even know how to describe it. Like this literally was a big dub when I saw it. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people I spoke to didn't like it, but they weren't that deep on the civilization. Like, there's a lot of people who get tattoos of symbols and it has deep meaning. But then when you talk to them about some real deep meaning, you realize that a lot of people are airheaded when it comes to that shit and just like have this whole front of, oh, I'm spiritual. And that's not a diss on anyone who has tattoos. A lot of people do have tattoos that have specific symbolization or meaning or memories within themselves. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the people who go to a tattoo shop and see a fucking tribal squiggle and are like, oh, you know what? That would look nice. Let me get that on my leg. And then later they read about it. So Ironheart made a first appearance in that movie, which is why I brought her up. I'm glad they showed her in that. So let's look at the comments. Let's look at the comments for IGN, which I mentioned earlier. Don't comment on their shit. Like I once again said something innocent. I'm glad they're upgrading the suit for the show. Can't wait. I'm surprised no one hated on what I said. This was actually a test. It was bait for them too. But
undeniable.
Anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life.
I want to build something undeniable.
Anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life.
I can't front. That's a sick ass suit,
Have
though.
to do some questionable things to get it done.
Yeah. So at the end, they did show a different suit. But like, I think that the one at the end is probably the original suit that she has from Wakanda Forever, because they show her build the suit in that movie for those who haven't seen it. But this is dope how she just has a fucking Nike on. Her character is wait, fuck, where's her character from? I think oh shit, I can't remember where they had her character from in the movie, because they basically go pick her up from her college. But she just got her Nike on in her school outfit, basically in the jets propel, and just put on just like Iron Man suit did. But like, this is a thicker, more like a more armor plated suit, I guess you could say. Like, so I'm pretty sure, I'm hoping that they have her in some big ass battles. But the thing is, and I pointed this out in my Poltergeist comment corner, that everyone compares her, not just the suit, but they compare her to Iron Man. And like, I be wondering why RDJ don't want to be Iron Man no more, because he could have still been Iron Man. He has lots of control, but there's a reason why he don't want to be Iron Man no more and wants to be someone else. And let's start looking at the comments. Stark built this in a cave. Pause. With a box of scraps. So what am I? Some kind of Ironheart? That's what that's actually kind of funny. I think they say something like that in Marvel Rivals, but with a different name. Bro went from helping Optimus defeat Unicron. Wait, what? Bro went from helping Optimus defeat Unicron to a side character and knock off Iron Man. Knock off Iron Man. So moving right along, the Penguin has been really great. Am I right? Of course, we got to shift. Penguin has the whole joke that he's trying to say is Penguin, although it has nothing to do with this, he has to project a successful white superhero related TV show, because it's more important than the black superhero related TV show that's about to come out in a couple months. 2008 Disney building the MCU. 2024 Disney destroyed the MCU. I mean, that's a fact. That has nothing to do with throwing shade at the black superhero. She is not a replacement of Stark. No one can replace Stark. That's a fact. At least they are not using nanotech because it's getting old. I want to build something undeniable. Builds Iron Man armor with same features. I mean, we can all tell there's no shade. There's no shade in that picture right there. But I mean, the thing is, like, people automatically look at her black face and think, oh, this is a copy of Iron Man. This is the same exact thing. And then on top of that, it turns into comparisons of, oh, he built this in a cave. Tony Stark was a billionaire when he was in that cave. He was a billionaire. That's the difference. That's the difference. She is not a billionaire. So can you imagine if Elon Musk was basically thrusted into 7 days of everything that happened in Iron Man 1? Can you imagine that? And then all of a sudden he's Iron Man tomorrow. He's a billionaire. Now let's imagine if Ice Spice got put into Ironheart's whole arc, basically, in the next 4 days. There's a difference. Stark built his first suit out of necessity to save himself and his friend from captive. Later, he built more out of fear of impending danger that can threaten the world and people he cared about. He doesn't build them just to be acknowledged. He did have fun building them, but that was the benefits, never the end goal. Genius people never needed recognition. He was a hero because he saved people more times than he saves himself. People look up to him. This one doesn't. This girl will fall like any other so-called heroes Marvel has been giving out nowadays. So here's the thing. He did build his suit out of necessity to save himself and his friend from captive. Later, he built more out of fear of impending danger that he can threaten the world and people he cared about. He doesn't build them just to be acknowledged. He did have fun building them, but that was the benefits, never the end goal. Genius people never needed so let's go back. He did build a suit to save himself and his friend from captive, but he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire. Hello, N.W.A. But Tony Stark is a billionaire. He is a billionaire. So he had no option to die in that cave. He could not let that happen. He has to get back to his riches. He has to. He can't just die in a cave like anyone else would. Nah. He has to take whatever scrap metal is near to keep himself alive. Doesn't it sound kind of familiar? Does that not sound like the owner of Tesla? What's good, Tay? We in here cooking. So I'm sure you probably have seen Black Panther and know about this, but on Disney Plus they're about to do the Ironheart the Ironheart show.
I brought you here to offer.
Damn, I fucking hate YouTube. That's not even what the fuck.
I want to build something undeniable.
Anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life has had to do some questionable things to get it done.
I want to build something.
I didn't get to see the date they just showed, but this is basically a show that's about to hit Disney Plus in a couple months, I'm assuming. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be dope as hell. So like, I'm looking at the comments for this, and everyone has some negative shit to say. So this person wrote, oh yeah, and basically what I was saying before is that everyone keeps trying to like downplay the projections of the show. This show has not come out yet. Ryan Coogler, who I've been talking about for the last hour, I guess, basically all his movies up until now have all hit. They've all hit. Like, all the movies have hit. Fruitvale Station, Creed 2, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which is the movie that introduced Ironheart. And they have a short this is a clip from the trailer, but I'm watching it. I think it looks dope. I think the suit looks dope. Like, I commented on it. I literally left this here basically as bait, because I know that whenever I comment on anything from this company, there's trolls in there who have to reply. Everyone else has replies, but I'm surprised they haven't replied to my shit. I kept mine real positive. I got 2 likes. But probably like right before this movie comes out, when more people go to this short or it pops up in their feed and they see it and they have to spew their hatred, that's when they're going to reply to my shit. That's when I'm going to be like, yo, got him. But I'm already knowing people are about to start hating on this shit. Oh, why are you so glad? Why? This is a fake Iron Man. Why are you so glad? So this dude says Stark built his first suit out of necessity to save himself and his friend from captive. Later, he built more out of fear of impending danger that can threaten the world and people he cared about. He doesn't build them just to be acknowledged. He did have fun building them, but that was the benefits, never the end goals. Genius people never needed recognition. He didn't spell recognition right. He was a hero because he saved people more times than he saves himself. People looked up to him. This one doesn't. This girl will fall. Like any other so-called heroes Marvel has been giving out nowadays. I don't know if it's hatred towards black people or the fact that it's a woman, because I know She-Hulk, fucking everyone hated that shit. I didn't see it as that bad. I mean, I've seen worse. Some of the Marvel Netflix shows weren't as good. But what he said, not all of it's true. Stark built his first suit because he was a fucking billionaire and needed to get back to his money, and he needed to get back to Gwyneth Paltrow. So those are motivations that most people just wouldn't have if locked in a fucking cave. Most people in a cave would have just died there. They don't have the knowledge that their fucking parents gave them from being billionaires and having a whole fucking weapons of mass destruction factory in their backyard. So him having an engineering background that he was already projected to have before he was born basically made it so he could turn that fucking radiator into a damn Iron Man tank suit. And the homie that he saved died, so he didn't really save that person. If he were to really save that person, he would have built the suit and told him, hey, you take this shit into the danger. He does build them to be acknowledged, actually, because when he went home, he refined the shit and built like 7 more because he planned on fucking showing them off and doing shit with him. And I say doing shit, not as if it wasn't heroic that he was the hero in those movies when he fought Mickey Rourke and fucking the Tangerine dude, the dude from Memento. He built like 7 of them shits so that they could have different colors and different models and different looks because he wanted to be acknowledged. Isn't that correct? If he didn't want to be acknowledged, he would have built a fucking bat suit. Genius people never needed recognition. Tell Tony Stark that. And this ain't no diss towards Robert Downey Jr. He didn't want to be this shit no more because of people like y'all. He's like, yo, Ironheart, you take this shit over. I don't want to do this shit no more. I'm gonna go be Doctor Doom. I want to build something undeniable. Builds Iron Man armor with same features. False. I mean, I'm sure the show, when it comes out, is going to show that it doesn't have the same fucking features. Tony Stark put a Thanos glove on his hand, snapped his fingers, and his suit blew the fuck up. He was so done with this shit, bruh. Like, this nigga Robert Downey was like, yo, let me put these gems in this bitch. I'm so sick of these motherfuckers at these fucking conventions. These motherfuckers sneezing on me and shit. Let me just, poof. All right, I'm dead. Fuck y'all. Damn, that's actually kind of funny. Wow, a show nobody wanted, but I can't wait for Daredevil to come back. Now that's a show worth seeing over this. Is it? Is it? Has it been doing well? I think I heard that the Punisher reappeared in it. Shout outs to John Bernthal. But we still ain't seen Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. I don't know. I ain't been hearing that much about Daredevil lately. Did they up the price on Disney Plus again? Is it worth that $20 a month to watch Daredevil? Is it? Coincidentally, a character that we're supposed to believe is blind but can suddenly see fucking everything in the show. He can catch glasses as they're falling off a damn table. Seeing the MCU tear itself apart is like watching that one friend build an amazing puzzle piece. One friend build an amazing puzzle pieces only to drop it and break it into thousands of pieces. Aside from one comment I saw, no one's talking about how least we should be grateful it's not another nanotech or magically appearing suit again like every other hero nowadays. True that. Someone typed in, they introducing the hood. As you can tell from his picture, it might be a little small, but there is no shade in his skin. Coincidentally, like the four people who had shit to talk, all their profile pics, along with the people who wrote these fucking articles. Homie right here, there's no shade in his skin. The people who had something negative to say in Variety. See, in that video I showed at the way beginning, right above this, they showed the writer of the article's name, and I looked her up yesterday. But you can guess there was no shade in her skin either. Of course not. There can't ever be. Ever. I see a red hat on top of George Washington. The CGI was better in 2008 in a cave with a box of scraps. The show hasn't come out yet. We'll see about that. The show hasn't come out yet. To me, the main thing I'm looking forward to is she doesn't have the same suit that was in Wakanda Forever. The Wakanda Forever suit, let's see. From what I remember, she built her suit, but then when she went to Wakanda, Shuri built her a different suit for aquatic movement. That's the reason why that suit looked the way it did. It was for aquatic movement, which I thought was dope. But this is a completely different suit that she has this time around. So I think that's dope as fuck. So this is another video by the channel that Dr. Rashad Ritchie does his show from. This is the Young Turks. I used to watch it on my TV back in the day on my old pad a little bit, but they do have all their platforms that they're on. But this video is called The Latest Gimmick Movie. The latest gimmick movie theaters are using to sell tickets. So long story short, within the video, they basically just show that these companies are trying to switch it up, selling different popcorn buckets, kind of like how McDonald's used to do the Happy Meal. Like all these motherfuckers are coming up with popcorn buckets that are related to whatever movie comes out, and I'm gonna try to find a picture of one of them. But long story short, it's because people know that the tickets are fucking. Look at this shit. Like in 2020, that shit dropped all the way down here. Like they were at 1.2 billion, dropped all the way to 200 million. That's pretty much. Oh man, that's a big ass percentage. That's like a tenth of that shit. Probably not even a tenth. I'm tripping. Probably more than that. Yeah, I don't know if they have any pictures of the fucking popcorn buckets. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. So, for all these fucking movies that are dropping, the oh my god, this shit makes me sick. The greatest idea they have is, oh, you know what? We can import these different design popcorn buckets and raise the price on those. This shit right here, Nosferatu coffin popcorn bucket. This shit says $39.95. I'm about to throw up reading this shit. $39.95 for this one right here. I know it's probably not showing because it's not big enough, but this is a fucking popcorn bucket that's shaped like a fucking, like, I don't even know, it's a sarcophagus. and they're trying to charge $40 for that shit. What is this? The Mufasa Lion King light up popcorn bucket, limited edition exclusive, $20. Dogman Dog Bowl popcorn bucket, limited edition exclusive, $22.95. They're selling you a popcorn bucket that's shaped like a dog bowl for $22.95. Oh man, this shit is great for anyone who's not in LA and hasn't been to Hollywood to see the type of bullshit that they be pushing. Like this whole episode, when you run it back, is all gonna come full circle. Oh my God. These motherfuckers are so stupid and lack everything needed to sell movie tickets, which is the reason why they fucking pocket watch. In a previous article I read, this is the best thing they can do to combat shit like that, to make more money at the box office, because of those fucking numbers and that line graph that dropped to a fucking tenth of what that shit was. Basically 1.2 billion down to 200 million. That's like a fucking tenth. This shit is crazy. They got a Sonic the Hedgehog popcorn bucket for $26.95. And that's not even including the price of the popcorn. This Venom one in the bottom right corner is $27.99. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. These motherfuckers have no ideas whatsoever. And that's the reason why. That's the reason why Hollywood is in a shithole right now. Like, as soon as Sinners drops, like, these motherfuckers can't even write an article about the success of the movie. It's, oh, this movie didn't make enough money. It didn't meet the box office projections within the first weekend during the worst economy ever. The worst economy for Black progress. This is a movie that, I mean, this is a trailer, not a trailer. This is a video, a YouTube video from NBC News from 5 days ago. I put this up in my Discord. It's somewhere there.
Some of the most anticipated blockbusters of 2025, mostly shot overseas. In many
Nigga, what?
blockbusters of 2025, mostly shot overseas.
Isn't the president supposed to be making America great again? How does Hollywood film most of its movies in United Kingdom, Thailand, Czech Republic? Huh? Is this the reason why everything is the way it is right now? So we're supposed to be bringing jobs back to the country, but all the fucking film studios are overseas, giving all their money out overseas? I could have sworn Hollywood's job was to have studios where they can build sets to look like these places and keep everything in house. But instead, it seems like a lot of fucking actors and people who want to be actors are living on the street right now, because the amount of work that used to be in Hollywood is given to the same actors over and 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 over. And some of them earned it, some of them didn't. Robert Downey Jr. solidified. He's earned it. He's had a magnificent career, because even when he fell, he picked himself right back up. But there's plenty of actors who came from the WWF, and most of the fucking work in Hollywood goes to them. I'm just gonna say it. Fuck it.
Seas. In many cases, production budget cuts, multiple strikes domestically, and what some describe as a California tax incentive that's no longer competitive, taking Hollywood elsewhere.
I have seen people make comparisons of Los Angeles to Detroit prior to the
Shit. And I'm sure he's specifically talking about the factories that closed in Detroit from like decades ago. I don't know if there's still a lot of that happening right now, but I think he's referring to that, because that's literally what's happening with these movie studios. These movie studios aren't moving nothing. And it's the two the two situations or examples are different, similar, but also different in the sense that Hollywood did this shit to himself, man. Like there wasn't any specific fucking natural disaster that stopped Hollywood from producing and putting out movies. It's more like we're gonna keep making remakes and doing the same shit over and over, and we're gonna keep the same people. We're not gonna switch it up or hire new people. We're not gonna bring in no new actors. There's plenty of talented ass people out there, a lot of them on YouTube, but we're not gonna scout none of them because a lot of them happen to be people in struggle that are also people of color.
Plight of the auto industry, and I have heard people say that we are in an existential moment.
Film LA, an organization tracking the decline, found that 2024 was the worst year for the industry in Los Angeles, only second to 2020 during the pandemic.
So far, year to date this year,
Trust
we're
me, I
coming
can
in
feel
below
it.
that.
I can
We posted
feel
a
that it was terrible.
22.4% decline in on-location filming for the first quarter of this year.
Many films, TV shows, commercials, not only going overseas, but also shot in states like Georgia, Texas, or Tennessee instead.
And this is what I was talking about. This is to sum up that Hollywood fucking fell. It fell. Like, if anyone wants to see this shit, go look it up. NBC News, thousands of jobs at risk in Hollywood as studios pivot production elsewhere. This is in my Discord. But it's like, how the fuck did we end up here? How do we end up here? I know how we ended up here. So this is a movie that was supposed to come out. I thought that this might actually be an interesting movie to see. Coyote versus Acme. So they do have a Wikipedia page about it, but the thing is, this movie got canceled. They pulled the plug on this movie. I think they had already filmed most of it. And there's a lawsuit against the movie. So this was a movie, it was going to be called Coyote versus Acme. If anyone grew up on Looney Tunes, grew up on Space Jam and all that shit, this was in a way kind of going to be like Space Jam, but takes place in court. Because it's Wile E. Coyote, he used to always have an anvil dropped on him at some point. Roadrunner would drop or cause a fucking anvil to just drop on him. And like a lot of the, let's see, like in that show, I remember like there used to always be explosives, dynamite. Like the Roadrunner would always cause pain to the Coyote, but a lot of the objects that he used, the Roadrunner used, were delivered by a company called Acme. And I believe even Coyote as well would order shit from Acme to try to get the Roadrunner. So this movie was supposed to be about him going to court with them. I don't know what the pretenses were gonna be, but I literally was like, oh, whenever this shit comes out, I'm gonna watch it. I don't even think I saw the trailer. But this movie, they pulled the plug on it. Directed by Dave Green and based on a New Yorker article by Ian Fraser. Coyote versus Acme follows Wile E. Coyote in a lawsuit against Acme Corporation for many faulty products that failed to catch him, the Roadrunner. Ha, that would be funny. I would watch some shit like that. But they canceled it. They fucking canceled it. They canceled it so that they could write it off on their taxes. Sounds real familiar. Remember that movie The Flash that came out with Ezra Miller after he was tripping the fuck out for like 7 years straight, going on a world tour, fucking up everything? Before Michael Keaton, the one of the original Batmans, before he was added to that movie, he was originally supposed to be in this movie. Batgirl film. Batgirl. Leslie Grace. I don't even know who she is. But Michael Keaton was supposed to be in that. Brendan Fraser was supposed to be Firefly. They have a cast. They have a cast of people. J.K. Simmons was about to be James Gordon again. Bruh. Batgirl is a canceled American superhero film based on DC Comics character Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, directed by, like, they canceled this shit. They had already filmed this apparently. And as you can tell, Batgirl is what seems like a person of color. And this is the same studio, bruh. Warner Brothers, that same studio that was in that fucking article. Warner Brothers. Oh, they're doing a Clayface movie supposedly. But Warner Brothers, they canceled this shit like twice. I mean, they not twice. They canceled 2 movies. 2 movies that I was interested in seeing. Like this right here, this is like an OG. Like only people who like watch Space Jam and shit like that would like really be into a movie like this. This Wile E. Coyote. But Batgirl, I was down. Like I was planning on seeing it. So let's talk about it. So this is the shit that Hollywood's been up to. This is the reason why Hollywood, in my opinion, is fucking falling apart and fell apart. If anyone remembers Terminator Salvation, why? Like Terminator has a comic book. I have it in my bathroom right now, but it's basically about it's about one Terminator who I think is losing the war in their future time or whatever. And he runs to a factory and turns this factory on and builds him 5 Terminators. And they all are basically just built at that time, like in that second. And he goes back in time with them. And then there happens to be 5 human soldiers who were after him. And then they realize what he did. And they also go back in time. And when they go back in time, I think they end up in the 90s, because I got the comic in the late 90s. So this comic, it might have been, actually, no, I take that back. Maybe it was supposed to be the 80s. But it's basically 5 Terminators loose in a city and 5 soldiers from the future in a city as well. But they're all, the Terminators themselves are in disguise because they look like us. They're humans. But it's a fucking crazy comic. I think it takes place over like 2 days or some shit, but it is fucking crazy. That could have been a dope ass Terminator movie. I don't know why no one in whatever studio made this shit didn't do their research and read that comic to at least get some inspiration or idea development or anything. I saw this movie, I just don't remember it. It didn't stick in my mind. There's a reason for that. But the whole point is, at the beginning, that first article I read about Sinners, people were pocket watching and talking about the projections of money that it brought in on its first weekend as if it wasn't enough. I mean, this is a movie that Ryan Coogler, who is a professional movie director at this point, this is his first original production where he completely made that shit from the ground up. He's doing business with the same movie studio that just fucking canceled 2 movies that a lot of people wanted to see, and they're getting sued for it because they thought they were slick and could write it off on their taxes. He's trusting his work into your hands and also signing off the rights to you for 25 years just so that you probably won't cancel the shit. Oh, damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like giving them all the copyrights for the next 25 years in order to secure the fact that they won't cancel it. Like they're like, at that point, I don't think they can cancel it. So it's basically like, oh, okay, this is in your hands, but you can't cancel it. You're going to give it back to either me or my kids in the next 25 years. And then if I'm still alive, I can write a sequel to it. But he knows he's about to be busy for these next 25 years. This shit is about to, and on top of that, this is a milestone. When the rights for this come back to him in 25 years, this is gonna still be a legendary movie. That's a fact. That's a fact. So all this pocket watching and shit that these fucking so-called journalists, movie journalists want to write and shit, Hollywood is fucked. Hollywood is fucked. This was not just the beginning of it, but this was literally the problem. Remakes. The fucking, oh, we own this like all the people who already own properties and shit, they can't even let Ryan Coogler get one for himself without writing some fucking hate and shade and shit. But y'all already own all the fucking properties. I mean, if we really look up Sophia Stewart, the person who wrote the fucking story for Terminator and Matrix, who had to be accredited later, where did the stories come from? They always come from, same with the music, it always comes from the same place. That's what that movie, I'm sure, shows us, where jazz, soul, hip hop, rhythm and blues, house music, it all comes from one place, but no one wants to admit it. They just want to steal it. But this right here was a sequel. I don't even know if it was a sequel. It was a reboot to a franchise that used to mean something when it was coming directly from the hands of its creator, before more people latched on and were like, you know what? I'll direct it this time. I'll write it this time. I don't even remember this movie. These niggas was like, man, that remake was terrible. But you know what? Let's make another one. Fuck it. The niggas got DJ Khaled in there to come in there, open the door. Another one. How? Terminator 2 was so good. Terminator 1 was awesome, but Terminator 2 was fucking legendary. That shit came out when I was like 2. Wait, let me think about that. It either came out when I was 2 or 4 years old. Legendary movie. Has so much meaning. Even till this day. It still has meaning. It still has meaning. We are living in a time that's even closer to the time that that movie took place in. But it's still relevant today. What the fuck were they trying to do with this movie? I could see it says the director of Deadpool. It didn't feel like it. Maybe the comedy part was. Fuck it, I'm just gonna spoil it for you. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a Terminator from not the previous movie, but a similar time period. One of the models that was sent out, but he got reprogrammed and married a human wife. They got married. How funny is that? A Terminator robot in human skin married a woman, a human woman. And it's not like she doesn't know he's a Terminator. She knows. But she's down with it. Man, if y'all don't get some new writers in these fucking seats. Like, I don't remember none. It does take place in Mexico. But I don't remember none of this fucking movie. I just remember that they fucked it up at the way beginning. The first scene in the movie fucked up the movie. They tried to bounce back, but they didn't. This is why you need Ryan Coogler. Like, all y'all need to sit down. Just sit down, call up Ryan Coogler whenever he has time. He'll write your shit for you. Or Jordan Peele, or the Wayans brothers, or Chris Rock, or Chris Tucker. Speaking of Chris Tucker and the Wayans, anyone who's seen that movie Air, shout out to that movie Air. Ben Affleck, my favorite Batman. Like, he's an awesome director. Tap in with him. He'll write you some shit. Like, a lot of, I mean, James Cameron, shout out to him, but I know he didn't direct this. I know he advised it or something. I don't know what he's trying to do, but I know he don't give a fuck about this franchise no more. Another movie that's a remake, this time of a video game. Oh, damn, this movie was bad. I know like a lot of women who like this movie, but that's because they didn't play the video game. Ah, damn, Mark Wahlberg is one of my favorite actors too. Man, if only they had a person of color in the studio writing this fucking movie. Doom, another video game movie that I know I know no cool people were around to help write this. And shout outs to Carl Urban and The Rock, but Carl Urban was in that movie Dread years later. Like he's got some classics under his belt. But this movie, this was terrible. This was terrible. This movie made me want to end my fucking life sitting in that movie seat watching this bullshit. Oh God, a novelization by John Shirley, motion picture by David Callahan, motion picture screenplay by David Callahan and Wesley Strick based on Doom from id Software. That's the reason why they had to make Doom 4 so fucking good, because they had to bounce back from this shit. Ant-Man Quantumania, the movie that ruined Jonathan Majors' life. If he was never put into such a high projection of money, that gold digging woman wouldn't have fucked up his career. Oh man, he had this movie and Creed 3 drop at the same month, I believe. He was on top of the world. But this happened to be the worst movie that he's ever been in. Ever. Oh God, this movie, man. For anyone in the future who tries to tell me that this movie is good, just remember that the first two had Michael Pena and T.I. When you watch all three movies back to back, there's a big difference. And it's obvious why. It's obvious why. Secret Invasion. This movie did have people of color, but I'm sure there were no people of color on the writing team because this shit was fucking garbage. This is a Disney Plus show. They sunk a lot of budget into this shit, and it was fucking garbage. And a lot of people hated on this, and I know that a lot of those people who were hating on the Iron Man shit probably fucking watched this and knew this shit might have scarred some of them. But the facts are, I'm sure there were no and not enough people of color on the writing team. They put a strike on Don Cheadle and Samuel L. Jackson's career with this piece of shit. What was wrong with How High Won? So the reason why I added this to the slideshow is because I've seen an interview, separate interviews, I think, where Method Man and Redman talked about how they don't have any stake in the How High franchise, even though they made that shit a fucking cult classic. They were the actors who made that shit a cult classic. So what that tells me is that the company, which I think was Universal, someone in that grimy, sleazy fucking office basically slave worked the two primary actors in that movie. And when I say that, I mean that they don't have any projection or stake in any sequels that are made. So this was oh damn, maybe we could use the title to make us an extra bag, but no one fucking watched this shit. I didn't watch it. I mean, shout outs to both of them in general, but this should have been Method Man and Redman, simple as that. Why wasn't it? Because no one in the fucking culture was involved in the paperwork of that first movie. This one is to drive the point home. This is the movie that I'm sure Michael B. Jordan was like, man, I am only working with Ryan Coogler from now on. Anyone who's seen this movie knows exactly what I'm talking about. And in the new Fantastic Four, the Thing, I don't think looks as good as the Thing in this. But, bruh, everyone remembers this. From the studio that brought you X-Men Days of Futures Past. That movie was aight. But this, however, I tried to be positive. I did try. But they... Michael B. Jordan was like, never again. Never again. He was like, never again. So to drive my point further home, I'm gonna play a beat actually. So this is a list I made of a whole bunch of movies that don't just feature black people, but just people from all walks of life. The Harder They Fall, featured on Netflix. The Five Bloods, a Spike Lee movie, also on Netflix. The Get Down, a TV show on Netflix. The Monkey Man, Parasite, The Raid 1 and 2, Ong Bak, and The Protector. The Protector is a movie that also features Tony Jaa. The Night Before, which is a stoner movie. The movie Dread, which I mentioned, features Carl Urban. The Twilight Zone seasons 3 and 4, written by Jordan Peele. If you're a fan of Jordan Peele, peep both those seasons. I don't know what platform they're on right now, but just know that Twilight Zone seasons 3 and 4, I think that's in total like 24 episodes. But this is Jordan Peele and several people selected by him to write and direct these episodes, and each one is like an hour long. They're almost like movies within themselves, basically. I haven't seen Black Mirror, but this is a show that's exclusive to Netflix. Scary Movie 1 and 2, which are a diverse cast, but the movies are written by the Wayans brothers, who I mentioned earlier. Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know exactly who else helped writing other than James Gunn. I think it was probably James Gunn and his brother. But this is a movie that features a diverse cast as well. Gamora, Groot, Vin Diesel, Rocket Raccoon. Gamora is Zoe Saldana. At number 2, Piece by Piece, which is a Lego movie, but it's the story of Pharrell, the producer. We watched that in Gangland Memes Discord. And the first one being The Equalizer, which is a movie featuring Denzel, but it's written by the dude who did Training Day. I can't remember his name right now. It's directed by Antoine Fuqua, but it's written by Richard Wank, Michael Sloan, Richard Lindheim. This is a sick-ass movie. I love this movie. I run this movie every now and then. This movie is very inspiring. Oh, yeah, that's right. He's the dude who works at the damn Home Depot with him. That's why I was like, what the fuck? And then she's the girl from the cash register. Yeah, this movie is a classic, but this is a movie directed by Antoine Fuqua, who as well has a whole bunch of classics under his belt. Let's take a look at some of them. Hollywood. Now let's look at his director. So, god damn. Oh, he's done like a bunch of music videos and shit too. Oh, snap. Antoine Fuqua has been doing fucking music videos. I'm gonna have to look through this list later because I know I've at least seen some of them. The Replacement Killers. I think that's the first movie I've seen from him. And I just found out recently that he did Replacement Killers. I think last year I found that out. Training Day. Training Day is like the movie that really... Damn, that's crazy that he came from music videos. This shit is blowing my mind. Training Day, featuring Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke. A lot of people... That movie got a whole bunch of awards. Everyone knows Training Day. King Arthur, The Call, Shooter, Brooklyn's Finest, We was watching that in the Discord not that long ago. That's a classic low key. The first time I saw it on bootleg, but I was like, damn. Olympus Has Fallen, The Equalizer, Southpaw, The Magnificent Seven. I have that movie. That's another good ass movie. Anyone who likes Red Dead Redemption, watch The Magnificent Seven. The Equalizer 2, American Dream, American Nightmare. The Terminal List, which is a show that's on Amazon Prime, and The Equalizer 3. I need to see The Equalizer 3 still. But this is the thing, like, this is what I'm trying to say, like, Hollywood needs to put more paperwork, more money, more work in general into people of color, because the format that's currently going on, that shit ain't working. That shit is dead. That shit is not working. It hasn't worked. We're trying to make money off some buckets. We're trying to make all the money off these fucking buckets. That shit, it's not working. It's not working. That shit ain't working. It's not working. Straight up. Man. These are all the pictures that pop up when you look up the people who be writing the damn articles as soon as your movie drops. Oh, this ain't good enough. Sinners is a box office success with a big asterisk. But it's not good enough, basically. It's like, bruh, get out of here with that shit. Long story short, the format that Hollywood's been going with for these last 30 years has run the shit into the ground. It didn't work. It's time for some new blood to get into these seats and get these scripts written. The filming crews need to come back to LA. Like, how are we filming movies and shit overseas, and the fucking president's talking about everything needs to be manufactured in America, but meanwhile this is going on. It's like, bro, what? Bill Maher can't wait to sit with him. I'm hoping that he broke that down to him. It doesn't take a genius. Rather than admiring how nice he was. It's like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Oh man, this shit is too funny. R.I.P. Hollywood and all the thousands of jobs that got lost in the process.